Hi Capricorns, and welcome to your November 2016 General Tarot Forecast. I was so happy to see how much positive reaction the Capricorn October reading got. It's my most viewed video so far. It's almost up to 2,000 views, and it has a lot of likes and a few comments. Capricorns sometimes aren't the talkative type. You guys kind of like to take what you can from something and apply it internally and, structure it and really move forward. And sometimes there's not enough time to comment, but if you guys ever feel the want to comment on my videos, I would so appreciate it, and I so appreciate the support. And I've gotten messages from a few Capricorns talking about how much the reading helped, and it just really makes me feel so happy that any spiritual guidance that I'm providing for you guys is actually helpful and it resonates, and I really hope that this reading will be the same for you guys. And as usual, if you guys love this reading or you would like clarification specifically on anything from the reading or in your own life, then you can check out the link in the description box below, and you can go to my shop where the whole process for booking a private reading is very simply laid out for you guys. Anyway, without any further ado, let's go ahead and start on you guys' November reading. So, last month, Capricorns, you were kind of in a decision-making process where you're like, okay, am I going to continue on with these projects that I've had accumulating for a long time, or am I going to start anew? Am I going to take a leap of faith? And it looks kind of like a lot of you guys may have taken that leap of faith. It looks like a lot of you guys may have really gone on the Fool's journey. And it's really interesting to me because the Fool was in your reading last month, and I believe the Magician was too, if I remember correctly. Sometimes my memory's not too good about that. But you guys had the Fool last month, and now you have the Magician and the Empress. So there's an amazing chronological order to the way that you guys are living your lives right now. And that's just a major validation to me that you guys have a good idea about what you're doing. You guys are probably one of the more sturdy and secure signs for this month that I'm seeing. There's a major evolution happening for you guys. There's a personal truth that you're coming to understand, and you're really wanting to step into a role of leadership with it all. And I really see it's kind of like you've had a new beginning. And even if this isn't very represented on your exterior world, on sort of the things that you might be accumulating, this is happening for sure on the internal. And you've really redefined and reassessed some of the ways that you kind of look at the world, some of the ways that you make decisions, and how your inner knowledge reflects itself to the people around you, and how you build your outer life and wealth and relationships. It's all coming together. There's like a puzzle is coming together in November, and I'm so happy for you guys about that. And it's flowing. Okay, so the only problem is when I do not like it when the Magician falls into the reverse. This could be deceit. This could be lying. There could be someone in your life who is not who they say they are. There could be someone who has tricked you or is trying to fool you or is trying to kind of put on an act, They might say that they're pulling a rabbit out of their hat, but what is it really? Like, what are they really doing, Like, are they actually doing things by magic, or is it all a hoax? That's always the question when the Magician reversed pops up. And it looks like, so I have two interpretations for this, but continuing on this first interpretation, some of the Capricorns could majorly be falling for something that is false. I think we talked a lot about facades last month, but because the Seven of Cups comes right after the Magician reversed, and to me it's like someone's building something up to be what it isn't. Like someone's convinced you that they have something that they don't, or that they are a type of person that they're not actually. And it's like, if it's too good to be true, Capricorns, it probably is. Watch out for anything that's too good to be true in November. You guys have had an experience in your lives where you've had to learn time and time again that, oftentimes in life, miracles, they can happen, but, most of the time things are predictable. Most of the time things make sense, and things, everything has its purpose. Everything builds off of something. It doesn't exist magically. You know what I mean? You guys have learned that time and time again in your life. So you've taken this new leap of faith. You've started on a new project. You've kind of started your life over. Do not forget to bear the lessons of your past. Do not forget to keep those in mind, because even though things feel so new, those lessons are what make you a Capricorn. You're a Saturn-ruled sign. Therefore, your lessons, the limitations that you've faced, the boundaries that you've overcome, if you can't take those with you into this new journey, you're only going to set yourself up to make the same mistakes over again. Okay? So do not accept something that's too good to be true. Be very mindful of the things that people present to you that get that censor with you guys. For the things that seem too good to be true, double check them, check the facts, see what's happening, because it won't be too hard to see. The Magician reversed is pretty easy to catch. It's not that hard, It's such a young archetype that maybe if you just looked at it from another perspective, maybe if you saw what the Magician was doing on the stage from a different angle, it would all be very clear. But because of the angle that you currently see it from, they might be getting something past you. So, but like I said, the Magician reversed, it's actually not that good at it. It's not that good at hiding things. It has what it takes, and it can do it. But all it takes is a very simple slip up. All it takes is a very simple change in perspective for it to all come crashing down. So, and also bear that in mind for yourselves. If you've fallen into the role of the Magician reversed, where you're trying to fool people, where you're trying to, get something over on somebody, it's not sturdy. Like, you may be somewhat successful with it in November, but if these people have one clue, or they choose to change their perspective for a slight moment, it'll all come to the light. So it's whatever, for this very small percentage of Capricorns out there who are trying to deceive and trick and lie, it's time to, get what you're trying to get. Because I know I'm not going to be able to convince you guys to not do it. I'm not even going to try. But it's time to hurry up and follow through with it, because it's not going to last much longer. Your false flag, your false facade. And in fact, as I'm speaking, the people around you may already be very aware of the lies. They may be aware of the cheating, the betrayal, and now they may be testing you. So never assume that you're still getting it past somebody. That's only for a very small percentage of you guys. Most of you guys are the one who's being deceived. And, it could also be something very harmless. It could be something like in work, where a coworker might be telling you that they make this amount of money or something, and and it could kind of be a manipulative job, like tension cause, or it could be something as simple as that. But moving on, you guys also have the Empress. This is fertility, this is magnetism, and this is attraction. For the female Capricorns out there, you're very fertile right now. It could be a time where you get pregnant. So if that is not something that you want right now, make sure that you're taking proper precaution. Likewise, you're very attractive. All the Capricorns, not just the female Capricorns, are very magnetic, and you are attracting like masculine energy right now. So regardless, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're attracting men. It could, but it means that you're attracting that personality type, that very masculine, penetrating personality type. And they're very attracted to you. The penetrating masculine personality type is very attracted to you. So keep that in mind as well. And you guys have the Knight of Swords in reversed. I think that as going along the lines of this new beginning, like I've been talking about, you kind of rushed into it. It's like now it's too late for most of you guys, and you can't turn back, and you don't want to turn back. And it's been 99% of it has been a positive experience for you guys. But, just part of evolution, part of, the courage that you have to take to go through this evolution, there are some steps back that have to be taken. There are some aspects of just yourself that you can't lose. And I know that I kind of already covered that, like when I said don't forget the lessons that you've learned in your life when you kind of start over. But also, you guys need to take time to be gentle with yourselves. You need to kind of nurture yourselves, because you kind of assumed some difficulty when you chose to take on this new project, or when you chose to kind of start a new chapter of your life. You chose a path in which it's not all going to be easy. It's not all going to be smooth. So you've got to be gentle with yourself when things don't go quite as planned. Don't have a nasty self-conversation when you realize that you were deceived by somebody, and you realize that somebody was overguarded with you guys. So And the reason for that is because when you start to take on that really harsh dialogue with yourself, you're going to start taking that with other people too, and it's going to really negatively impact the relationships with the people around you potentially. That's a possibility. So, start, if you want to kind of mend some of the relationships that you have going right now, which I also see as a possibility, because you may have offended some people because you've been so kind of off the wall about things. That kind of starts with the self, it starts with that your self dialogue. If you want to mend relationships with other people, mend the relationship with yourself. And it looks like a lot of you guys will be spending time in solitude to do this. You've got the Four of Cups at the foundation of your reading. So you're spending a lot of time kind of meditating, and you're realizing that this new journey that you're on, you've seen the setbacks, you've seen the benefits, and now it's about kind of seeing what you've gained, what you've lost, adding that all up and seeing if it was all worth it. Try not to get in too much of a regressive state of mind, because certain decisions cannot be undone, and it's not good, even if they can be. You've kind of made your bed, and now it's time to just accept everything that comes from any decisions that you've made in your life. I hope that makes sense for you guys. Also, don't deny any creative process that's happening right now. You may be kind of reestablishing how you accomplish your goals, how you kind of step into that creative process. For any of the Capricorns out there who are involved in artistic endeavors or are a very creative type, there's something about the old way that you used to go about it that's you're not really liking anymore, and you're really just trying to find a new way to accomplish your goals, finding a new way to find inspiration for all of your pursuits. Also, try not to be too guarded right now. You've got the Four of Pentacles in your reading, and it's fallen into the reverse. So some people might kind of feel that you're cold, or that you're that you don't let people in, that you're kind of walled off. And sometimes Capricorns can come off this way because you're that Saturn ruled sign, and Saturn's all about boundaries. So people might feel you to be a stingy person right now, whether that be with your money or your devotion or how you relate to other people. There's an aspect of frugality and stinginess to your personality right now, so just beware of that. It's also a part of your nature because you're a Capricorn, and not all Capricorns are like that. Like if you've got a fiery moon or something, it completely depends. But just be aware that that might be something that you're projecting right now, is just that guarded kind of frugalness. So, and that might be because you're struggling to find inspiration right now. You're struggling to find, you're struggling to adapt a little bit because you've got that Page of Wands reversed, like we were talking about. And upon this realization that, you might have been deceived by somebody with the Magician reversed and the Seven of Cups, you're kind of moving forward, and you're really careful about who you let in. You're really careful because you might feel like this person that was deceptive towards you, you might feel like that's because you let them in so closely and you weren't guarded with them, like you weren't frugal with them, you weren't stingy with them, and you feel that because of that, they then took advantage of you and they tried to fool you. So and I think that a message in this reading is that is not the reason. Like, sure, because you weren't guarded, like they then were given information that otherwise they might not have been able to use to take as much advantage of you with. However, the problem is that you can't realize this type of person more quickly. The problem isn't that you let them in the first place, it's that you didn't realize who you were letting in. So that's good food for thought for November, and that's something to think about in November. It's like think of the people who've taken advantage, think of the people who have lied or kind of betrayed you in that way, and think about the personality traits that they exhibited early on before you realized, and think of all the people who were this way to you and find the common thread. That way, going forward into the future, you can recognize that common thread, and you can then know who to be guarded with, because you might be being guarded and walled off to the wrong people right now, because people that aren't displaying that trait that you realize when someone is being deceptive or is not being truthful. you might be denying yourself a really good relationship because you're too overprotective and you're too anxious that, you know, this person who still hasn't displayed this personality trait, you're too nervous that they might, or that they might end up being like the person who deceived you. So try not to get too overly anxious about it. I think that this person who was deceptive, I think that it's clear now, and I'm not seeing a lot of other energy that pertains to that. It's something that's soon to be in the past. I think that because it's so early in the spread, it's not something that you're moving forward into the future with. In fact, you're moving forward into the future with the Four of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. So they're very solo, very alone type of energies. So you may just really be trying to separate from other people right now because you just don't want that drama. You don't even want the possibility of it. You may even be completely aware of the common thread that I'm talking about, but you just don't even want to deal with understanding that, or deal with having to do all that mental equations and stuff. You know, Capricorn's not really about that. Capricorn's about the tangible and the physical. You know, even though you're an earth sign, you're definitely not a water sign. But even though you're sort of a more femininely aspected earth sign, you like to operate in the tangible and material plane a lot of the time. And then again, if you have a water moon or something, that's going to be a little bit different. But, you know, you're trying to build foundations. That's what the fours are all about in tarot. That's what you want moving into the moving forward into the future. You want a more solid financial and kind of emotional foundation before you really try to take on relationships with other people. And that's going to be some good advice for November, is create those solid foundations. Realize the common threads, but create the solid foundations. And you guys will have a great November once you do that. And anyway, if this reading really resonated with you guys, again, you can check the description box below and book a private reading with me through the link that is there. And I will see you guys probably mid-November for an exciting treat that I will be uploading on my channel. And otherwise, I will be seeing you for December readings as well, I hope. If you guys would like to start a dialogue in the comment section about how these energies are playing out for you, if you have any other ideas of interpretations, I always love getting into conversations with you guys about that. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would really enjoy it if you guys would, or if you would like this video or share this video. I'm always so appreciative. And again, I'm so thankful for the support from all the Capricorns from October, and I hope you guys have a great month.